Okay, so when you get a crack like that, you're actually starting to lose tire pressure, and it's a very slow leak, but you do lose it. And that's a big problem. The other thing that happens on the E88, and again...
Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring. This is our BMW F80 M3 Taxi that you all know by now. And as of last year, we have been changing the wheels from the traditional BBS E88s to other versions such as the Ronals or the ProTracks that we have in the barn. And we have received quite some commentary saying like, guys, why swap the sexy E88s? And today I'm going to explain to you, but first I want to say a massive thank you for helping me to reach 200,000 subscribers. It happened so fast that I haven't managed to think of a proper giveaway. So, you know, we're just going to do it quick. We're going to give away a lap in the M3 and also in the GT2 RS. And what you need to do for that is just comment that you want to do a lap in it, and we're going to use some random generator and insert your name into it, and we're going to have 2 winners. Now there is a catch. We have 15 days of TF left. We don't know if we're going to have a taxi license for next year, so you need to make sure to make the trip this year, and then you can have a taxi lap. Anyway, thanks again for helping me to reach that goal. And now back to the main point of this video, why we're swapping the BBS E88s for different types of wheels. And for that we need to go back to the Destination Nürburgring track day, where I tried to do a lap in the Schirmer E92 M3 with Django Bip Bip. Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring. And today we have a very special lap, namely in the X631. And you're gonna be like, hold up, did Robert sell the car? Why is it on French plates? Well, because this is actually the real X631. This is the development car. And after that, the X631.2 was made, which Robert eventually bought. That's a very quick story because I'm very eager to get on the lap. So let's go. You can also give Django Beep Beep a follow to find out more. Ask him more on Instagram about it. And yeah, let's go. Very excited. One thing that I'm really not looking forward to, and it's just a typical Team Schirmer thing. Dear Tom, you build great cars, but you know how you can make them better? By leaving the AC inside the car. It's going to be very hot. But yeah, we're real men, so let's not cry. Let the car do the crying, the engine at least, for a good reason. We made it back.
I believe that there's been problem here.
Ah, yeah.
You know?
The BBS.
I believe. That's not normal because
yeah, it's probably cracked. Yeah.
Sure, but okay. So
good.
It's the end of the day for me.
Well, hey.
Sorry.
No problem. We'll do it another time.
Next time.
Definitely. Well, that didn't go well, and now we're going to tell you exactly why it happened together with Robert. So, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually a really interesting topic because we all think that the BBS E88 is probably one of the best looking wheels that you can put on a BMW, and I personally feel that way. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a nice wheel, it's lightweight, and the next thing I should say is that it's robust and bulletproof and can go through anything.
Something that you would expect for this price range.
Absolutely. But there's a couple things that I can show you guys on the back of this wheel. This is a wheel that we've taken off one of our Schirmer BMWs. And as you can see, the tires still in really good shape, not really been on that long. But if you come to the back side, we have here marked, we follow all the cracks that are in it. And these are actually cracks to the barrel, the inner barrel of the BBS wheel. So this aluminum drum has actually begun to crack. Now this is something that a lot of people don't realize is a BBS E88, which is a 3-piece wheel. This is almost seen as a consumable. This drum you have to keep an eye on. You have to keep an eye on for these cracks. And we're in an interesting position because on my car, for example, the E92, I would actually continue running this wheel right here. But if I were to tell you guys that I'm running this wheel on the taxi, you'd say, oh my gosh, you guys are crazy, you're running a wheel with a crack in it. The race cars actually that are running in VLN and different things, the race teams, they know how many cracks they are, they have sizes, they know when they have to start changing them. And oftentimes it's when its crack gets into this inner lip right here, right? Now on the taxi, because we have customers in the car and the car is weighing 2 tons, the sign that we see any crack, the drum comes off and we're putting a new drum on. So that ends up being a consumable. In the lap that you just did in the E92, the sister car to ours, I don't know yet if it was the barrel that had a crack in it or if it was a wheel bolt that snapped. Do you know yet, Misha?
I don't know, unfortunately.
Okay. We can find that out, I'm sure. So 2 things happen. I'll show you this. This is the outer. This is the seal. This all sandwiches the star in between and is what makes the wheel. But if we look at this back wheel right here, you see this right here, this one is actually cracked all the way into that point that I was telling you. If this is on any car, it has to be replaced at this point for sure. And this loses tire pressure. Okay, so when you get a crack like that, you're actually starting to lose tire pressure, and it's a very slow leak, but you do lose it. And that's a big problem. The other thing that happens on the E88, and again, when you get into the heavier cars, we're one of the first people to actually start cracking these. This is the standard bolt from BBS. This is an M6 style or M6 size, and that's what holds the entire construction together, the 4 pieces. This, we've actually drilled and tapped out all of our wheels to M8 bolts. Sorry about that. And so we've upgraded to an M8 bolt, which is stronger, and since we've done that, we've never actually cracked any bolts. So what would happen before is you would come in and you would just see a stud sticking out here or a flush, and the head of the bolt would be gone. And once that happens, if you don't catch it fast enough, 1, 2, 3 could break, and you would actually start getting a leak of air from there as well.
Yeah.
So very interesting, but these are the things that happen with the E88s. And for us as a company running taxi, everyone says, why did you guys get rid of these wheels? They're beautiful. I don't like it with the Ronals as much. I don't like it with the ProTracks as much. The reality is, for example, like the ProTrack, 0 issues. We have no maintenance we have to do on them. You run, you hit curbs, you do whatever you need to do, and the wheel works. Whereas with these, we probably have 40 drums laying around.
And what's the cost of a drum?
I'd have to look and see, but this size drum could be well over 600-700 euro.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're well in over 20,000-30,000 euro in wheel parts over the course of running the F80 Taxi. And I think that anybody that was running a business and saying, okay, you know, yeah, there's very little arguing that that's not a beautiful wheel, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Over here, you can see part of it as well. Upstairs in our storage, we have 2 more sets of E88s. We've got these ones, and then if you come over here, we've got another stack. These are all the E88s that we have just so that we can run the taxi.
And someone's going to comment now, so did you find the stolen set of E88s
No, we
from
didn't.
2017?
We did not. But you can look here. This one is in good condition. There's no cracks. There's no stress marks. There's nothing. All of the bolts, you can see they're all upgraded. We have them all marked and painted so that we can see if they've rotated or anything like that. And how do we check this throughout the day? If you go out in the morning, everything's good. We check them every night. The first sign that you have a crack forming or that you've got a bolt that's broken is that you start seeing a very, very slow pressure drop. And by slow, I mean it would take 5 laps to even register it on a pressure gauge at the beginning. So our drivers, after every single lap, no matter what car, we check the tire pressure, and we know how the cars work. And if one corner ends up being 0.1 bar or 0.2 bar lower than the other corners, we know that something's going on. But then we'll do a midday inspection, just look and make sure everything's good. But you get to the point where you say, is that really worth it to run a taxi just to have something that looks cool? When, like I said right here, you've got the ProTracks from the same car, and these things are bulletproof. Let me stand this up here. Let's see, these ones are actually run on the M4 rental, but you can see that we have no issues here. These have, I would say probably, I mean, look how dirty they are. These probably have 5 or 6 times the amount of laps on them right now.
Including the Kubica laps.
Including the Kubica laps, then, which means every single curb was taken on that car, then that one drum that's broken right there has. So this is just ends up being that much more durable of a tire. So for me, like I said, on my E92, I really like how the BBS looks, and it's something that I put up with and deal with, and I think that the other drivers do. But if you're really running the cars heavy, like our F80 is, or you're running them hard, like the lap that you were going to do in the E92, then you're going to get cracked wheels. with the BBS. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, so in short, the explanation why we have switched, not completely, we still sometimes...
We still run them. I mean,
Yeah.
we still have them right here. We still run them, but it just means that we're not solely relying on 4 sets of E88s. You know, if we know that it's going to be a hot day and we're going to be hammering out some fast laps that the car's full, we'll put the ProTracks on.
Exactly, because it has to do, yeah, as we said, with maintenance, with cost, and at the end of the day, if you need to, midday, all of a sudden you realize you need to change a wheel or like drill out a stud to replace it. By now, we don't have that issue anymore because we have multiple spare sets of wheels, but before we were like, oh yeah, we need to
It was
repair
a challenge when we had just 2 sets of E88s. We had a dry set and a wet set, and we got caught out a lot. I would say in 2018, we probably lost a good 50 laps of business because wheels broke.
Yeah, because we had to replace them during the day, during a busy Sunday, and yeah, then you lose a lot of money. And with that, yeah, that's in short but very detailed explanation of why E88 is a great wheel, but it requires maintenance, and why we are not running it on our taxi exclusively. Exactly. No, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And I hope it gives you some insight as well. So you might think of it when you are considering getting a set of E88s for yourself as well. It is not just like running it and be done with it. It is quite an experience, I would say.
Yeah, I think you do have to be pushing the car pretty hard before you start braking them. I don't think that the average guy going out
on
doing
the
8-minute laps
yeah.
is going to brake them. That's not the case. You need to be in something heavy like a M3, you know, and pushing it over curbs and having a lot of weight in the car and really coming out of the turn completely loaded and on the gas. I mean, it does put a lot of stress on the wheel. Yeah. And also, the wider the wheel is, the worse it is. So if you're running a car that has a 9-inch wheel, you're probably never going to break it.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for this explanation, and let's go do a lap.
In what?
I don't know. Let us know in the comments what should we do a lap in, and we'll make a video of it.